Hello, this is Dale, and I want to show you how Google and Blackboard can play well together. And hopefully, at the end of this whole document, you can see that Google and Blackboard can, in fact, be BFFs. And instead of living in two worlds, we can kind of live in one world where these two outstanding and powerful tools work together. And so let's start with something as simple as sharing a document from Google Docs into Blackboard. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Build Content, and this is going to be a recurring theme, and I'm going to build an item. Once I get to the item, it's going to ask me, and it's the required field here. I'm just going to call this my test document. You can see I've done that a couple of times. And so I've started that there. Now I'm going to go to the document that I want. In this case, it's the Blackboard and Google making them BFFs file that you might be looking at right now. And I'm going to go up here to the file. I faked you out there. File and publish to the web. You can see that I'm already publishing this to the web. And so your screen might look different. Let's stop publishing this so that you can take a look here. This is what your screen probably looks like if you haven't published this to the web yet. You click Start Publishing here. It's going to automatically republish when changes are made. Very important. Make sure that it's unchecked for viewers to sign into their district accounts. That will restrict what people can see, especially students, which we want this for. So we're going to click Start Publishing. And thank you, Chrome. Yes, we're going to click OK. And this is the link we were at before. All right, we're going to use a couple of things here. Let's start first with the link to the document. You most certainly could get this also from the shared settings, but let's highlight this and let's copy it. And let's leave this open for now, and let's go back to Blackboard. This is where you might put your document, so you might put something like students. Click here for the assignment for today. As you can see, I'm not a very good speller. Luckily, Chrome will help me with that. Okay. Now let's say you don't want to paste that whole long URL. If we go back and take a look, that's a long URL. And long URLs are susceptible to mistakes. So let's do something else. This is really cool. Let's highlight here, because we want them to click here, right? And let's do this little trick here. Let's make that big. Okay. And so we make here really big. That way students can't say, well, I didn't see it. And then we're going to make sure that it's highlighted. And we're going to click on this little globe here, this hyperlink globe. When I do that, I'm going to get a box here. Okay. I'm going to get rid of the HTTP because when I paste in here what I copied before, it's going to already have the HTTP. Okay, and there's that big long one we didn't want to use. Okay. All of this stuff stays the same. I click Submit. And now that's hyperlinked. Okay, now you still have the same options you have with Blackboard before. You most certainly, if you wanted to, could have an attachment if it's not a Google Doc, although sort of the point of this is that you would not have to have an attachment. And then you can, your visibility settings are right through here. I'm just going to click Submit. Okay, and you'll see that it's an item. You'll see the hyperlink here if I hover over it. And when I click here, it should, if I'm doing this right, give this an HTML version of your document. And so it has a nice look for, since it's published to the web, for kids to see, which is outstanding. Okay, it looks that way because we went into the shared settings, or excuse me, the publish to the web settings. So let's stick with a document here, and I want to do one last thing here. So let's edit this and go back to our area. Let's say sometimes maybe you might want to give a preview to that document within Blackboard. This is really cool. Let's go back and let's get this, and here's another reoccurring theme, the embed code. Look, I do not know how to write code. I don't know what the code means, but I do know how to copy and paste. So I copy, and then I'm going to go in here and look for middle school math or whatever when you learned less than, greater than, and click on that toggle HTML source code. I toggle that, Mr. Blackboard, toggle, there you go. And I'm going to leave all of this junk up here alone because that's the writing I have from before. Okay. Now I'm going to paste my code. All right, here's the only part that is a little tricky if you're a little tech skittish. Okay, what will happen is, and we can click this toggle and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The preview is not very big, and so it's difficult for students to see. So why would we use it? So I'm going to turn the toggle back on, and I'm going to go into my code here. And remember, I don't know anything about code, but after this first iframe, I'm going to hit a space, and then I'm going to type width equals quotation mark 1000 and quotation mark, and then I'm going to click height. I could spell right. Of course I can't. This is not only a tutorial on Blackboard, but a tutorial on how not to spell. Okay, height equals quotation 1000. Okay, and I'm gonna have only one space between the quotations and the S. Now, the great thing about a video is you can go back and watch that again, look at my misspelling, but also see what it looks like. Okay, now I'm gonna click submit. And what you'll see is that we're in Chrome. And when we're in Chrome and we embed anything with an embed code in Chrome, it's going to make you refresh. Why? Because that's just the way we do it in Google. So we're going to click on Google Examples here because that's where I have this housed. And boom, look at that. Really, really cool. This is a preview to the document that I had a link to. And so this is just one way to distribute materials to students. Most certainly there are a lot of ways to get materials to students. This is just one way in which Blackboard and Google work well together. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. Thanks.